What is this video about? Chili. Don't make the office joke again. Don't make the office joke again. Chili time. Oh yeah. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She is chili. Absolute chili. Hello friends, today we are making the best beefy vegan chili. Now if you know me, you know chili is one of my go-to recipes. I just love cooking big pots of stuff like Sunday, you got football on, it's cold, everything goes in one pot, simmers for a few hours, and you have a pretty damn good dinner. So when I say chili is one of my specialties, it's really just like one of those recipes that I've truly mastered at this point. So much so that I made at Conscious Chris from Sweet Simple Vegan chili one time like 3 or 4 years ago, and he still to this day calls me Chili Rick. So that's my name now. Let's talk ingredients real quick, because I know at first glance this seems like a lot of ingredients, but trust me, the layers of flavor that you'll get from all of these things make every single one of them pretty necessary. I've seen chili recipes online that are kind of just like tomatoes, beans, and like chili powder, and I can't condone that. I don't vibe with it. I can't imagine it being good enough for Chili Rick. All right, so I'm gonna start by preheating my pot and just adding maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Once that's hot, we're gonna go in with our Beyond Beef. I like Beyond or Impossible because I like that it tastes more like actual meat, but you can use some of like the old school brands like Gardein or really anything you want. And you can probably use like rehydrated TVP if you want to. It's just not my favorite. I'm just a Beyond or Impossible guy. That's my pick. Just kind of go in and break it up as much as possible. It's gonna feel like a lot of oil right now because all that's in here is the beef, but once we add all of our aromatics and our veggies, it's gonna be a normal amount. I think this process of browning the beef and breaking it up into like more of a ground, I think that and the prepping of the aromatics are like the most labor-intensive part of this entire recipe. So once you're through here, you're kind of through the hard part. All right, so our Beyond Beef is nice and crumbly and a little bit browned, and it's kind of got that Beyond fond forming on the bottom of the pot. And listen, this is my first video here on this channel, but let me just start by saying one of the most annoying anti-vegan comments that I think exists is, why do you want all of your food to taste like meat if you're so anti-meat? And if you're watching this, you probably know the answer, which is that 99.99% of vegans are not vegan because they don't like the taste of meat. That is not the reason. The people leaving those comments, they know the reason too. Use your Beyond Beef, use your Impossible, and enjoy it. Now that this is ready, aromatics are gonna go in. We have our onion, our red bell pepper, jalapeno, which we've removed the ribs and the seeds because I try to make chili not that spicy anymore because I used to make it really spicy and no one could eat it. So now I try to keep it mild, and if I want mine spicy, I add heat at the end when I serve. And a couple cloves of minced garlic. This is actually hardneck garlic that I grew in the backyard last year, and I'm really proud of it, and that's what we're using. So I'm just gonna let this cook for probably 5 to 8 more minutes. It doesn't really matter that much as long as I get a little bit of color. There's a lot of stuff in here, so it's gonna steam a little, which it's fine for this kind of dish because it's chili. It's gonna be sitting here in a lot of liquid for a long time anyway. All right, I think this is looking pretty good, and it smells really good already, which is, it's always funny when you just put in aromatics and you're like, turns out these ingredients are important for a reason. It smells really good. I'm gonna add in my tomato paste now, and I'm gonna cook that for like a minute or two, and I'm gonna keep stirring it the entire time because we want it to turn a rusty, brownish, reddish color, not that like bright red that it starts out as. That's just gonna deepen the flavor. It's gonna make the whole thing more rich and robust. Kind of like how I wanna be in this world. Also, let me just say at this stage of the cooking process, the chili doesn't look that appetizing. It kind of looks like brownish slop, but I promise it will become more appetizing as it comes together. Tomato paste and everything is looking good. I'm gonna add in my spices, and this is kind of where my chili obsession takes over because there are a handful of spices, but they're worth it. Of course, first things first, we have a whole bunch of chili powder. Now, chili powder is a spice blend in and of itself, but that's a whole other story that I'm not gonna get into. Second is cumin. Very important, very key ingredient. I'm putting all these in now with this, and I'm gonna kind of toast them in this mixture for about a minute before deglazing with my broth. We don't want them to burn, we just want a little more flavor to come out. Then this is a little bit of smoked paprika. You can use plain paprika, but we already have bell peppers. The smokiness kind of just adds another smoky dimension, which is what chili is all about. And then we have some oregano here. I just love oregano in Mexican, American, Southwest kind of food. And then of course, lots and lots of freshly cracked black pepper. All right, we're gonna get all of this nice and coated. These spices are going to kind of toast a little bit. We're kind of just like pre-cooking them. Now you can really start to smell that this is going to be chili. Everything's nice and coated now. I'm gonna go in with my 2 cups of water, which is going to turn into beef-style veggie broth. So once that's in, I can start scraping up those little bits of fond on the bottom, and I'm gonna drop in my 1 beef-style bouillon cube. These are great, especially for recipes like this, because you don't have to worry about like breaking it up and making sure it dissolves, because this is gonna cook long enough and you're gonna stir it frequently enough where it'll dissolve over time and you won't have to worry. This is on a bare simmer now because I got a lot of other ingredients to add and I don't want it splashing up in my face while I do so. First thing first, a big ass can of crushed tomatoes. I like cento or muti because they don't have citric acid, and we were testing chili a while ago, then we realized that most brands add citric acid and it makes your tomato dishes weird. Highly recommend cento. Few extra bucks, totally worth it. 2 kinds of beans, pinto and dark red kidney beans. I always used to make chili with my dad growing up and he always used kidney beans. I don't know if that's standard, but it's standard in this house for my one nostalgic reason. I'm using Bush's beans because roll that beautiful bean footage. Bush's beans are truly the best. We've done store brand before. They're always like kind of hard and Bush's never lets me down. Okay, now this isn't really a secret ingredient, but it's something that cannot be missed in my opinion. These are chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. You know, they come in like those little stout cans in the Latin section of the supermarket. Very smoky, a little bit spicy. Are they?
Yes.
Okay, Sarah says they're very spicy. To me, they're not that spicy, but I trust her because I'm a psycho. I usually take out like 2 peppers and chop them up and then use a little bit of sauce. Sarah actually froze these into little cubes, so I'm using 3 of these cubes, but it should be roughly the same amount as what I usually use. 2 little bay leaves. Do they do anything? Let's say they do. And here's where we get into Eric's special ingredients territory, all right? So I've made chili a lot, and over the years on the internet, everybody had their own secret special ingredient for their chili. So when I really wanted to start formulating my chili recipe, I said, why don't we just try a bunch of the special secret ingredients at the same time? And it turns out when you do that, you get some really good chili. So in here I have a tablespoon of cocoa powder and a tablespoon of brown sugar. Brown sugar adds a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of that molassesy flavor, balance. The cocoa powder adds deep, dark richness. It's not gonna make it taste like hot cocoa, I promise. You won't really notice it, but you'll know it's there, if that makes sense. And then for a little extra salt and umami, we're gonna do 1 singular tablespoon of soy sauce. I think I always thought that soy sauce was just for Asian-inspired dishes. Boy, that assumption was wrong. And that's all of our ingredients. I'm gonna stir this together and then we're just gonna let it simmer for a long time. Usually if I'm making chili, I'm usually drinking beer because like I said, Sunday afternoons, football, beer time. I'll usually add a splash of whatever I'm drinking, but since I'm cooking this in the late morning, early afternoon on a Wednesday, I'm not drinking beer right now. I mean, I could be. Like, we're self-employed. But, you know, I'm an adult and I'm making an adult decision to behave properly. That's kind of it, folks. I'm gonna cover this. I'm gonna put it on our actual stove so I don't waste all of this butane. And I'm probably gonna let it sit for like 2 hours total, just on very low, like a very bare simmer. And I'll check back in every maybe 20, 30 minutes and give it a stir. So we'll check back and you'll see what it's looking like. So this wouldn't be a chili video without making a Kevin from The Office joke. The key is to undercook the onions. Everyone's gonna get to know each other in the pot. All right, goodbye chili. All right, so our chili's been cooking for over 2 hours. I ran down to Sprouts to get some tortilla chips to serve and some cilantro to garnish. And I ended up picking up a bunch of snacks, so I kind of just wanted to show you what else I got. The tortilla chips, la favorita. Not much to say, they're just good tortilla chips, but I will tell you a quick story about my best friend Travis, who is obsessed with these to the point where he was putting them on every meal and just like crushing up a bunch of them on top of what he was eating. And then one day he said, am I eating too many of these? So he weighed it out and realized he was adding 500 calories of tortilla chips to every single one of his dinners. And I will never forget that every time I eat these. Boulder Canyon usually makes potato chips. I guess they make tortilla chips also. And they have this, what is it called? Sweet and spicy chili flavor a la sweet chili Doritos, which we love. Very good. Stellar pretzel braids, French Dijon flavor. I used to love those honey mustard pretzel twists. And this is a vegan version of that, apparently. I can't open it. We already opened these and tried them, and they're really good.
Open from the bottom.
Open from the bottom, now we hear. Okay. We already tried these, and they are delicious. Honey? I love wearing an apron because I can just do other things. Back to nature, basically Cheez-Its. Oh my God, these are addictive, absolutely incredible. Go buy these. And then capping off with a classic sweet treat, Justin's dark chocolate peanut butter cups. These are a staple. Incredible. What is this video about? Chili. Okay, let me put this away and then we'll finish up the chili. Don't make the office joke again. Don't make the office joke again. Chili time. Oh yeah. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She is chili. The last note is that there's quite a bit of salt in a lot of the things we put in, like the bouillon and the soy sauce. So I am going to add a little bit more salt because I think it does need it, but I'm going to try it first. Oh my gosh, so hot.
Can you even taste it?
Kind of. Really good though. Okay, I'm going to do like one big pinch of salt for this entire pot. One fat pinch of One fat pinch of kosher salt, and you're good to go. One of the hardest things in cooking is serving something this rich in color and not spilling it all over the counter. Hey, I did it. First topping, some vegan cheddar shreds. These are from BioLife. Any brand works, as long as you like it. Got some plant-based sour cream. This is from Simple Truth, Kroger's brand. One little dollop will do ya. And then remember earlier I said I try to keep this mild and add heat to my portion. Got Flatiron Pepper Company. What is this? Their 4-pepper blend. It's Arbol, Ghost, Habanero, and Jalapeno. If you want really good chili flakes that A, aren't weak, and to B, actually have flavor, Flatiron Pepper Company in Boulder is your new best friend. Boom. And this will be Sarah's bowl. I'm going to give you 2 scoops because you're small. But do you want a third one like me?
No.
Okay. Didn't want to tell you how to live, but do you guys like cilantro on chili? I'm not really a fan of that. It's not bad, but it's just, I don't know, it does something to the purity. His and hers chili bowls. Absolute chili. And the Martin Scorsese meme, which is like absolute cinema. Absolute chili. That's incredible. I'm very proud of this recipe. That is incredible. I highly recommend you make that for the Super Bowl, any other gathering you're having, just for your family on a Sunday. It's just good chili. If you want to find the full written recipe, you can go to sarahsvegankitchen.com and look up Beefy chili. Thank you for watching my first ever live cooking video. I hope I did a good job. I've never done a cooking video like this. This is usually Sarah's lane, but I'm giving it a try. So if you stuck around to the end, thank you, and subscribe and like the video and all those YouTube things. I'll see you in my next video. All right. It always happens.
The chili has too much heft. It can't be contained.
I've made this so many times recently. I was like, oh, I don't even want chili today. Now that I'm eating it again, I want it. Why is there banjo in this song?
Why not?
Another great thing about chili is that I'm done cleaning and it's been like 10 minutes. So. The smell is absolutely incredible. So the last note is that this is very cognitively difficult. I mean, I play instruments. This shouldn't be that hard, but it is. Are you Sarah camming my Rico cam?
Yes.